You know, guys, the truth is, every time the English Premier League comes alive every match week, I'm excited. I'm sure you guys are, because for every time we get to watch games and goals, you're looking forward to me coming to this particular channel to talk to you about everything that happened. Guess what? Just 19 goals were scored at the English Premier League game week 17. Quite paltry, quite uninteresting. But today's show is going to be absolutely lit, because our guest is not somebody who is used to be on the scene, is always behind the scene. And he's a spectacularly special person. He is Oluwashina Oludare. He's our guest today, and we're looking forward to having a very, very juicy conversation with him. Remember, it's U-tie season. Compliments of the season to you and yours. You go beat. This is Fanbase. This is your base. We'll be right back after this. You know, some people naturally like to be off the scene. They don't like being brought to the bear of things. But not today. I came to drag him in his office. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is, wow, somebody who, the name you would know in the world of football in Nigeria, but maybe not the face, but it's good to put a face to the name. Oluwashina Oludare. How are you, sir?
Boss, see as you watch me, I be upcoming. Oh.
Upcoming. So there are levels to these things. Shino is a huge. Why you they support Chelsea?
Well,
Madrid day, back at the sorry, Man U day, City day, Liverpool day. They support Chelsea.
well, naturally I like the color blue,
Oh, I
and
see.
also we have Africans who've played for who have played for Chelsea,
English
Babayaro,
teams, yeah.
Drogba, Jeremy Njita, mentioned this Salomon Kalou, and
Absolutely.
John Obi Mikel, Victor Moses. So
Yeah.
it was very easy for me. Yeah, it was very easy. Now we don't have more Africans playing there, but it's very difficult for me,
Yeah.
switching allegiance to another club.
You know what we always say, guys, is that when you fall in love, you have to stay in love. And people like Shino, even though their heart is broken by the fact that their Chelsea team is currently very, very poor, especially with the backline. But we'll get to talk about all this and more. Let's just take you through the fixtures right now. The results of the fixtures last weekend. That's game week 17. Liverpool picking up maximum value against Watford, 2-0. Burnley defeating Newcastle, 1-0. And in fact, in that game, Newcastle didn't record a shot on target. That's the first time Burnley is shutting out any team in the last 30 games so far in the Premier League. Chelsea lost at home. It's Chelsea lost at home to AFC Bournemouth, while Leicester City, interestingly, yes, Leicester City, the same team that have won their last couple of games in very, very dominant fashion, the same team that Jamie Vardy plays for, didn't get any goal of their own against Norwich. It was 1-1. And meanwhile, Sheffield United continued what has been a very fantastic season so far. 2-0 against Aston Villa with Jack Grealish losing a penalty. At home, the team with the worst defensive record so far, Southampton, the Saints, well, they are not Saints anymore, they are sinners really, because the crime they are committing at the back is really, really disturbing. They lost to West Ham United. Meanwhile, Manchester United played an all-draw with Everton. Wolves, of course, at the same time, lost at home to Jose Mourinho's Spurs, 2-1, and Arsenal, 3-0 against Man City. So in our featured game, Shino, let's talk about what happened to Man United. Why will a team beat Spurs, beat City, only for you to draw at home to Everton? I think Ole has to be able to replicate those form consistently, Shino.
Yeah, when you talk about Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur, a lot of things, were involved in that game. Number one, you talk about the rivalry, and the other thing, you talk about the Mourinho factor. So against Tottenham, you don't expect Manchester United to play less. They have to give it all.
True.
Because they know Jose Mourinho was coming to prove a point, and just to make jest of them that beside me. But it was a very different ball game. But against Everton, they were a bit more relaxed. And you have to, before the game, they played 5 Premier League games. 5 Premier League games without, losing, unbeaten, and they felt okay, they could take on Everton and, have the maximum point, but it never happened. After they considered that own goal with Lindelof, it was very difficult for them to come back. And thanks to Greenwood, that 18-year-old guy, so they were able to get a point. But I'm very sure that there is no cause for worries. They would always bounce back. This is a team in progress. They are trying to build, and they are trying to do very well. Fine, you would argue the fact that they've conceded in their last 12 games, which is not good, and that is also a record for the guy who has conceded in his last 12 games. But it's nothing to worry about.
Absolutely.
You win some, you lose some, and you draw some.
Absolutely. That right there. That right there is a man who's written so much, so many stories, so many
boss.
articles, that we all read and enjoyed. But let's talk about what is being enjoyed right now. Chelsea's run of form at home. Now that I say Chelsea they don't get stadium. They don't get, because there's no fear factor at the Stamford Bridge anymore. Bournemouth joined Liverpool in a very, very good and convenient space when they became only the team to have won 3 times away, at the Stamford Bridge. Bournemouth has a very good record and it continued. But again, it looks as if Frank Lampard, we hear say Chelsea are trying to buy Jadon Sancho. A lot of names have been Chukwueze, Jadon Sancho here and there. But Chelsea need anything? Do they need at the moment anything going forward? I think it's the backline. The backline is very worrying. Zuma, come on.
Well, like they say the best form of defense is attack.
True.
When you don't score goals, then make sure you don't concede goals. Now we've scored 39 goals and we've conceded 25. That is a goal difference of 6. How do you explain that? In their last 7 games or thereabout, they've not kept a clean slate.
That's lost, Chelsea, right?
Of course,
yeah.
They've lost 4 out of 5 games, and that's very pathetic.
It is.
Against the Cherries, we had 6 shots on target. We couldn't get any goal. Our opponents adjust to they scored one. So that's how football is played.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what I feel is Frank Lampard will understand that he's trying to build a new team. We need a big striker. When I say a big striker, a striker for that occasion, when the chips are down, it can come out to work wonders. Yeah. We need a leader. Yeah. If we have 2 good strikers to complement Tammy Abrahams up front, then we are home and dry. We are not scoring goals. Chelsea is not scoring. When you look at the top 5 teams in the Premier League, they've scored, the least goals, and that is worrying. That keeps us, wondering. Against Bournemouth also, you see that they had 61% of ball possession, and you keep asking me what were they doing with the ball.
What are they doing with the ball? Okay, when you have so much possession, then it doesn't convert to the numbers.
Then you can't, it's problematic. So
it is.
Frank Lampard has a lot of work to do in January window. Get some, established players who can be. You mentioned the fear factor. When you have those big players, we don't have any fear factor.
Absolutely.
Even if any of ourselves play Chelsea,
they will win.
Go. I swear, go. So
yeah, I think that's very sure. Really,
so,
I should not just take it out of my mouth. Chelsea, Arsenal. Okay, Chelsea is straight lose. Arsenal is straight lose. They will beat them. Somebody right now behind the camera, a huge Arsenal fan, is doing his hand like this. But hey, that's the truth. Arsenal, you, they get beaten. But Chelsea is go. Chelsea will give you go. They will score and then they will concede.
Of course.
But let's talk about what we saw at the Emirates Stadium.
Wow.
Guys, we didn't see this happening. I'm sure no magician, no herbalist could have seen this happen. No punter could have seen this happen. Arsenal were absolutely gutless. They had no spine. They had no guts. They had no glory. No nothing. Never. You don't see football team
I
play
thank you
like
for
that.
Chelsea. We still try. In their last 6 games at Emirates, they've not won any games at Emirates in the last 6 games, and they were playing in Man City under, now since Pep became the manager of Man City, Arsenal has never defeated them. They've lost their last 5 games against Pep team. So playing a solid team under a clueless manager in code, because how do you explain a manager bringing in Saka? Oh, Moboda Saka. He brought in Saka to play a defensive role, the striker. That is what they got, and they got punished. Yeah. You saw Kevin on a good day.
He made so many errors in that game.
So many blunders. You brought in, young stars.
What is a Smith Rowe? He brought in Smith Rowe for Mesut Ozil at some point.
I won't experiment on it.
I have no idea what a Smith Rowe is. And interestingly, Alexander Lacazette has scored all his goals.
Sure.
All the goals of Lacazette this season in Premier League has been at the Emirates Stadium.
Sure.
Now, 90% of Aubameyang's goals this season has been away from home.
Sure.
Now, you had Lacazette on the bench in a big game like that. You played Martinelli ahead of him, which is not a problem. But the question is getting the best out of Lacazette. That boy knows that place. He knows that stadium. He comes alive when he's at Emirates. And then you bench him for the entire 90 minutes. And then you can't go to smile with Pep.
Well, I think the problem is Freddie doesn't understand the job. He lacks experience. He felt he could experiment. And against City was the wrong time for him to have experimented.
True.
And that was why you saw, Pep giving Kevin De Bruyne, he gave him more advanced role.
Yeah.
And they got punished. 2 goals, 1 assist.
So, did you have him in your FPL team, by the way?
No,
That's
bad.
Come on, man.
I removed him.
Oh, no, you're one of those guys who didn't trust and believe in him. All right, guys, so all of those and more, we've been talking with Oluwashino Oluwadare. He is here with me on the show, Fanbase today. Remember, this is Fanbase, this is your base. We'll go for a quick break. When we return, we'll be right to talk about FPL. Who were the people that, like Shino, that sold KDB, thinking he was not going to pop?
Kevin shocked me.
He shocked the world. He shocked everyone. And guess what? I have KDB, 19 points. We'll be right back after this. Sorry, guys. I did mention, or rather, I forgot to mention, compliments of the season to you and yours. Well, that's not why I'm wearing red, by the way. But hey, compliments of the season. We hope and pray that the Utah season will come with so much blessings, and for us, here in FPL, so much points and so much goals. Well, Shino's team did double figures, of course, that's what most people will do. But are you proud of this particular team this week?
Well, I'm not happy because...
Did they pop well for you?
I had just 50 points.
Chai.
Aubameyang did not click, so I went down. So
who's your captain, though?
Yeah, Sadio Mane gave me 12 points.
Yeah, he had an assist.
He had an assist.
Watford. Yeah.
And I think I made, I committed so many blunders.
Okay,
I removed Kelvin from my team.
How?
I removed Salah from my team.
How?
Yes, so, and...
Come on.
Yeah,
you just never know with FPL. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong.
Of course,
and that's why it happens.
Of course, I was even expecting Rashford to give me goals. He gave me 2 points. Show that bet.
Is it fair? It's not good at all. Rashford, you see, these are the people that you've broken their hearts. Speaking of breaking hearts, Verdi broke out of over 2 million managers because they made him captain. And guess what? Verdi that have scored in consistent 8 games so far in the Premier League this season, equaling his own record as well that I said 2015 alongside Ruud van Nistelrooy. Unfortunately, he didn't pop at all this week. In fact, the only goal they scored for that game now own goal by Team Crew.
Now, you can't really blame him. The attention is on him.
True.
In the last 9 games that he's played, he scored 11 goals. He scored consistently for 8 games.
Yeah.
All eyes would be on a kind of striker.
True.
People would expect him to score, and even for punters, they would always put their money on Vardy to score at any time.
Yeah.
But it's one of those times when you don't score. So, and for those who captained him, so sorry.
Yeah, so sorry for people like me.
Yeah,
captaining just gave me like 10 points. And meanwhile,
you still tried now.
Well, exactly. People like
12.
you.
I got 12.
So people like you who sold KDB, who sold Salah in a week that they were absolutely amazing. If you had captained KDB, you would have gotten 19 points. Then times 2, that's 38 points.
38 points. That's massive.
Because he got all the bonus points. Then he got the assist points. Then he got the clean sheet points as well.
Of course.
It was a huge, significant week for KDB. But meanwhile, I think one of the players that you want to look at getting into has to be Jack Grealish. Consider that boy because Aston Villa will be playing some very relatively easy fixtures.
Yeah.
In the next couple of 4 games, relatively easy fixtures, and those are the kind of player you want to look at. My team, I had 70 points this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Say baba.
It wasn't that bad. Some boys had like 30, like 87 points.
Wow.
Right?
Massive.
Yeah, in our particular league. But right now, still on top of our table is the Bounty Hunter. The Bounty Hunter has 920 points, closely followed by Tiki Taka FC that has 908 points.
Wow.
And we have some other couple of guys, but really, really sad time to be a fan of George Uchendu's YOLO FC. George Uchendu's YOLO FC has been the one tackling Bounty Hunter for a while, but right now he's on 6 points. And a lot of things happened. The biggest point scorer this particular week was Sekou Banks Fofana, the owner of Bafana FC. He had 87 points without using any of his chips, whatever.
Wow.
Closest to him is Bas FC.
Which can they be that?
I have no idea, man. What a name, man. Now, the same name we see for this, my FPL be that. Bas FC, owned by Samuel Oluwayemi. We go for a quick break. When we return, it's time to talk about everything stats, numbers, everything angles as regards the preview that will be coming up this week. Will Everton continue their new manager jump? Will Arsenal try to bounce back? Will City also try to put a stop to the juggernaut feel of Leicester City, even though their winning run was stopped by Norwich? And finally, will the first London derby by Jose Mourinho come good for him? Find out all this and more right after this break. This is Fanbase. This is your base. We'll be right back. All right, so we're still talking to Shino, and we are still here at about time for the preview. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Well, I have. I've enjoyed this particular conversation, but it can only get better. Now, our featured game, let's talk about the other fixtures of this particular week. First up, we will see Chelsea will play a big game, a London derby against Spurs, and that's the first game we'll be looking at. Watford will play Man United, and City will play Leicester City in another featured game. The game between West Ham and Liverpool will not happen because Liverpool will be participating at the Club World Cup Championship. And meanwhile, Norwich will play Wolves in a very big game for those two teams. Newcastle will try to get Almiron or Jojo Shelby back for their fixture against Crystal Palace. Brighton and Hove are enjoying the time of their life. Chris Mope getting the goals for them. Will be playing against Sheffield United that John Lostrom has been popping points like no man's business. Aston Villa will play Southampton. Southampton have shipped in a lot of goals. They are seen as at right now. No, they are not saints anyway because they are committing so much blunders at the back. AFC Bournemouth, Chelsea Conquerors will play Burnley, and at the same time, Everton will play Arsenal in another featured game. So the first game, Shino already gave me his predictions earlier. Shino, you feel Chelsea will not even bury at all. They won't even bury. They won't even best say. Their mouths will be broken. You think it's going to be 3-0?
Of course, because when you see Chelsea, they don't have the caliber of strikers now that can really score a Tottenham Hotspur that can even beat.
But Tottenham has been conceding goals. Under Mourinho, they've never had a
I can
sheet.
Bet you against Chelsea.
Yeah, they're going to keep a clean sheet.
Because Mourinho, Jose Mourinho understands Chelsea. Yeah. You know, he was a Lampard's manager. He understands in and out of Chelsea. He can hurt them. One thing is guaranteed: Chelsea will concede. And I know one thing again is Chelsea will never score. So.
Guys, I'm sorry, you know why I'm laughing? Is when they say one thing is guaranteed. Like, oh sure. Chelsea will concede. But yeah, that's the kind of backline. When you have a backline that has Cesar Spilicueta, Emerson, or Alonso, or James Ruiz, Kurt Zuma, Christensen, all of them. Tomori seems to be the only guy that has significant potential.
Of course, forward. And when he wants to, make blunders, when he wants to,
yeah, he's a child after all. He's still a child.
So against Harry Kane, against Son, against Dele
Ali, I like to call him a new signing.
Honestly, he's born again.
Yeah, he is born again.
So against Chelsea, I think it's going to be a big one for Frank Lampard.
Like I said it's going to be 3-0. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think there's still something for Chelsea. Tammy Abraham has proven to score goals against lesser small teams, but I think he also needs to step up against big boys. He hasn't scored against any big team, so far, but he's got 11 goals so far this season. And then our big game again, City Leicester.
Wow.
3 years ago, this particular fixture could be a stroll in the park.
Sure.
Then when Leicester won the league, everybody started putting attention on them due to Claudio Ranieri. But going forward, this particular fixture is as big as any fixture you can talk right now in the world.
Yes, because if Man City should end up losing the game, then they should forget about the title. Leicester are second in the log, and they know that victory over the Foxes would, give them that edge to gun or to continue their persistence for the title. So if they lose against Leicester City, then that is it. It's all over. And you are facing a Leicester City team that, they don't really have big stars, but they're very compact. Yeah. There's this understanding, there's this synergy between the defense, midfield. Was it synergy or is it sync between the midfield, defense, attack? You have the goalkeeper who is very fantastic. Yeah. You also have Brenda Rogers who understands English football. So against almighty citizens, it's going to be a very tough one for them. But if they can hold their own, I think the worst they would get is a draw. But I don't see them, they will be consumed at the Etihad Stadium. Yeah.
Shino thinks it's going to be 2-1. Eventually, City 3-1. I beg.
3-1. Yeah. I see Gabriel Jesus come to the party. I see Mahrez come to the party.
Are you impressed, anyways, by Jesus? I think he hasn't done enough, really, because almost all the time, he's claimed to be the next heir to Aguero's throne, and every time Aguero is injured, every time you are brought on, maybe because of it comes from the bench.
Yeah, it's not really hard,
a good run of form.
Of course. So you can expect that, and I feel it's been doing so well because you come from the bench. It's like that perpetual, substitute coming from the bench. So
almost every time.
Every time. So that cannot help him improve. Yeah. He can never improve. Yeah. But let's see what he's going to do against Leicester City.
Well, and remember, Leicester City has the highest number of clean sheets in the league so far, and then Peter Schmeichel as well as a goalkeeper. Peter is the father. Kasper Schmeichel, as the goalkeeper of Leicester, has kept more clean sheet than anybody in the league so far. Remember that the goalkeeper with the highest number of saves still remains Ben Leno. He has almost died. They have almost used shots to kill that boy.
Don't kill him.
But well, at the end of the day, he's still right there, trying to make a good reading for Arsenal. Talk about Arsenal right now. They go to the Goodison Park this weekend as well. They'll be playing Everton, and Everton, they got a draw. Now, in the last 2 games under the new manager, interim manager, Ferguson, they beat Chelsea. They got a draw at United. This is good for confidence against Arsenal.
Of course, it's very good because you see an Everton team, at the beginning of the season when they signed Moise Kean, they signed Iwobi, and you felt, well, they would be among the top 5, top 6 to compete. But they saw that wasn't the way forward. They had to ask Marco Silva. And the new, let me say, the interim manager has been showing, promises. So against a leaderless Arsenal, I see them, picking all points. Iwobi is going to do very well for sure.
Yeah.
But my fear again is Arsenal. They are not going to impress.
What do you think is Arsenal's problem, by the way? The players? Lack of leadership, lack of skill, lack of mindset, lack of championship abilities. Because sometimes it's not even about winning the trophy. Sometimes it's about the kind of players. So I tell you what, in the game between Norwich and Arsenal, it was 2-1. It was 72nd or 73rd minute, I can't remember. And Aubameyang scored an equalizer. You are playing Norwich, a team you should be beating at least 4-0, no disrespect.
Sure.
And then he scored an equalizer, and instead of you to go take the ball and take it back to restart the game, you went to do your very funny acrobatic, and then you came back and then you're all laughing. And that for me shows lack of leadership.
Well, for Arsenal, the problem is they should get players. They have this money. Let them spend this money. They should stop telling us these figures that they are the richest club in the world. They should buy players. They should buy players.
To watch ball in Emirates,
of course,
80 something.
Of course, they should buy. They should do something good with this money. They should get a good manager. We don't have a manager there. I learned they are bringing in Arteta. What will Arteta come and do? He won't do anything. No, they need a world-class manager who understands the English game. And you see them, coming back again.
Ancelotti could be in the mix anyways, and of course, Ancelotti in the mix of Everton as well.
Of course, Ancelotti would be a very good one. He came to handle Chelsea. You saw what he did.
Yeah.
He's handled AC Milan. He's handled almost all the big boys.
He's a serial winner.
Yeah, so he's a serial winner. So I think that will help their confidence. But if they refuse to spend, they have to spend
Lano
this
FC, Arsenal, Lano FC. But really, it's really starts to be an Arsenal fan right now. I saw a particular tweet one time. Somebody said that he doesn't blame anybody, that he blames Baba Wasu. That Baba Wasu was the one that introduced him to Arsenal so many years ago. And God will punish Baba Wasu. That why can't Baba Wasu introduce him to Madrid or Barcelona? That as a football fan, he didn't know anything about football, but Baba Wasu introduced him to Arsenal. Guys, all this and more we'll get to see in the match week of 18. We hope you've enjoyed the analysis as I've been talking with Shino Oluwadare. We want to thank you so very much. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
It's a difficult thing to pin this man down. Like I said, he's a man, his stories are always everywhere. You can Google it. Come on, Google it, your friend, like they say. You can Google him, Google it. You get to know so much about Shino Oluwadare. But hey, it's a good feel to finally sit with him on a conversation on Fanbase. We hope you've thoroughly enjoyed this particular production. Well, we hope as well that you take it easy on the chicken. Please do not drive and drink in this particular period. It's Yuletide. Everybody's trying to make the rush to somewhere or go somewhere or not. But whatever you do, take it easy, breathe, relax, enjoy the atmosphere. It's hammer time, it's coming. Get a handkerchief. I'm just trying to give you tips on how to navigate well, apart from giving you FPL tips. My name is Babachide Guerrero, and as always, like I say, this is Fanbase, this is your base. You go B. Bye for now, guys.